There are a lot of takeaways from the final episode of Carl Weber's The Family Business, Season 5, and I want to just briefly discuss the cliffhanger, the characters, their goals, and my predictions for this clumsy cartel, the Alliance, moving into Season 6. Their plan as a collective is to take LC and his organization down by any means necessary, and we have to bear in mind that this isn't just anybody. This nice and holy group of folk was once a part of Elsie's table, so they know how he operates, they know how he moves. One of the final images was very telling, and it definitely supports the personality of this newly aligned group of people. So kudos again to the set designer and Trey Haley for the direction and the look of this very shot right here. We've got candles, fruit, wine, crackers, cheese, the whole charcuterie board. And the room is very dark on purpose because this scene has to draw us into their sole intent, setting us up for what's to come, a scene that reflects their dark nature. Now, the part of this scene that seems a bit off in this image is obviously Sonia, right? And I know that she's there to support her husband, but she's really there because she don't want Junior to slip back off up into Hellfire Club. She got to keep an eye on his ass, right? And now that the cat is out of the bag on who they are and what they've orchestrated against Brother Minister, Junior's response to this entire thing, it's just the cost of doing business. And then he sat there with this smirk on his face. You know, no sweat off his back, right? And we'd also think that Dominique is also there to support her men, Alexander, Cora, and Antonio. And let me point out that we've recently learned in an interview that I did with Trisha, the actress who plays Dominique Larue, that she was never married to Alexander Cora, ever. They just had kids together. So I went back through some of the footage when she first entered the scene, and this was true. And Bernie referred to her as Alexander Cora's woman, not his wife. So if you missed that interview, I'll leave it linked in the card above and also pinned in the comments below. And we also learned from this interview that her and Antonio were college sweethearts. So it's not so shocking after all that she's now entertaining Antonio. So all of their little greedy hands are now in the pot, stirring it up real good to make sure that Junior stays in line and not dangling too far from Antonio's puppet strings. So this dark room was very necessary in this final scene. And what's even more strange than Sonia sitting at the table is that they're all looking to Junior for their next move. So I guess he and Antonio just gonna take turns now on who's gonna make the next dumb decision. And if I had to assume, it won't involve killing anyone at all. It will be more along the lines of finding a resource for the bag. I mean, how are they going to compete with the Duncans on a level that will sustain them financially? They just can't go around killing people. They've got to begin bringing in some revenue from somewhere, right? So if they were smart, they'd move in a direction of coming up with a formula to outdo heat and fire. Or if not that, then they'd have to extend their reach by acquiring existing territory, like a package deal. A package deal that included the drug dealer, his crew, the block, and the dope, right? Because they'd need 2 to 3 times the distribution that LC has. But let's jump back to unsuspecting Sonia for just a minute here. When will she begin to ask Junior questions? Like, is she really going to support this newfound alliance? And I'm sure she's reserving all of her comments until the next season, perhaps. I don't know. Or is she going to be the quiet, doting wife who doesn't ask any questions but simply enjoy the benefits and the lifestyle of being Mrs. Duncan? Sonia has what she wants now. She intentionally stopped taking those birth control pills for this very reason, to get a baby and to wait on Junior to find himself without having to listen to the direction of LC or Chippy. And now that he's seated at the head of this out of place and twisted table, she has what she wants. So maybe this is enough to keep her quiet for a little while, but not without paying the price. Moving on to Donna here. She has her bones, but the fate for her in season 6 won't be so good. And I say this because women like Donna, their karma tends to come quicker than a lot of other people. If the ghost of Brother Minister doesn't haunt her and drive her to one of those inpatient rooms at Fresh Meadows with Holly in them, then she may lose more than what she was willing to gamble. And by that, I mean Junior. Junior actually thinks that he's heading this alliance because of his wit and his business smarts. He has no idea that the encouragement that's coming from his wicked mother over here is all self-serving and has nothing to do with his warped leadership. Will he ever learn the real motivation behind behind her support. Donna needs a man, right? To keep her occupied. She needs something else to do, a hobby, some pastime activities. She's so eager to be Chippy's knockoff that she's risking it all to have that life, even if it means putting her own son at risk. So I'm sure that we're going to see more of the same from this character. But let's be fair, we have to give Junior a little bit of grace. Now, I'm not saying that we have to turn a blind eye and ignore all of his bad decisions, but he has waited like his entire life to be like Orlando and Vegas. He's been itching to sit in the seat of his father, and he no longer has to beg to go on assignments with his brothers. He doesn't have to be the muscle all the time, right? This time he's making the decisions, he's calling the plays and giving other people direction. And I really see him riding this newfound self in all of season 6 until it's revealed to him that he's being used. And another thing, I really don't want season 6 to be rushed like parts of season 5 was, but I feel that these two seasons will mimic each other to some degree, just like it took Chippy and Elsie like the entire season to say 2 words to Junior since he found out that Donna was his mother, because she still didn't have a real conversation about all the details, and neither did Elsie. And why this was not a part of season 5 is beyond me. I just don't see them leaving out the juiciest storyline of them all unless they're just carrying it over into the next season or something. And likewise, season 6 will keep the anticipation high on Junior finding out about the real reason he's being put in charge, quote unquote. And I say this loosely because when he did speak up, Antonio talks over him, right? And he's still making all the decision whether Junior agrees with him or not. Junior will have other distractions though, so he may not even pay Antonio half attention. He's about to become a father, and he's got to get back in the good graces of his wife, Sonia. So he still has some meat on the bone for other key areas of his storyline. And all in all, he's gonna feel betrayed by Antonio and the members of the Alliance, especially by his wicked mother, Donna. And this may be the betrayal that will send him right back home to the Duncans, where he belongs. And regarding Alejandro, I'm really glad that he's still a part of the Alliance to some degree to act as Junior's moral compass, because we see that Junior just doesn't have it these days. The goal for Antonio is to, of course, find Ruby so that he can avenge Vinny's death. But first, he has to catch up with her down in Nowlands, where she's hiding out with Marquise and Jimmy, which is going to naturally give us more of an introduction into the family business New Orleans. Now, I've done an interview with Kenny, played by Sakiah Shaw, who plays Kenny, right? Crazy Larry and Nene's son. And he's going to give us a little insight on that part of the show as well, so stay tuned. And then finally, last but not least, we have the sleazy senator here who just joined the crew. So again, I feel that their next move, it has to be a money move, like some money flowing through their grimy little hands, because the senator, he ain't out here to shake hands and kiss babies. He's with the Alliance for the same reason that KD is on Elsie's table, for the bag, period. That plush and elaborate comfortable retirement package. That's it, and that's all. And we also have to remember that the senator, he put a bounty on Orlando and Vegas for $20K apiece, but Elsie had already did the deal with KD to pay Roscoe off to get them out of that situation. But I don't think that that's the end of it by a long shot, because Elsie still has a lot of unfinished business with the Dixie Mafia, and Junior knows where all the bodies are buried, right? Will he give up his own brothers to satisfy this sick and twisted eye for an ideal that Elsie started with the Mafia? The anticipation is very real, and my only question is, how far is Junior willing to carry around this fake power and the blinded goals of other people who hates his family to a core? He definitely has some decisions to make. So is he going to stay drunk with the power that Antonio pretends to give him, while he halfway makes decisions that will potentially harm the people that he once called family? Or will he fold as head of the table and run to the other side? I don't know, but this is my overall prediction for this clumsy cartel coming up in season 6. But these are just my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Give me a note down in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going. Let me know what you think about this clumsy cartel is what I'm calling them. We've got newbie, greedy, sleazy, blindy, devilly, bossy, all of these people. Just a box of mixed nuts, if you ask me. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You know I'd appreciate it. And if you're a fan of Carl Weber's The Family Business, then go ahead and sub to the channel for more videos just like this one. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight for Ruthless TV, you guys, and I'm going to see you in the next one.